Wow, it is hot out here today. Yeah, the sun is definitely a big thing. The sun, we're going to be getting into that as well. Wait for some people to join here. I don't know if you can see the rainbow moonstone shine on that. Esma, see if I could actually see this. If you guys can see it on camera, the way I could see it here. Can you guys see that blue sheen on here, rainbow sheen on here? On camera? Yeah, look at that rainbow sheen on there. That blue rainbow sheen. That blue sheen is beautiful. Yeah, actually, I have, guys. These are going fast because these are one of a kind. This is my own personal one right here that I've had for a while, but I have one very similar to it that I made days ago. That's up on my website. So there's only one available. So it is gonna go quick. I also made a ruby kyanite one that just was today. I'm glad my friend Cindy got it. I don't know if Cindy's in the chat room right now, but Cindy just got the ruby kyanite one, which is awesome. It was one of the ones that make it. It comes out so good, you want to keep it for yourself. So one of my friends got it. Cindy got it today. I'm gonna send her an extra pendant, crystal ball spiral pendant, copper pendant with it as well. But yeah, I'm making all these very special rare crystals that I have, and these ones, especially these ones, they have been imprinted with a catalog of 432 hertz. So you'll see even on my website in the picture, if you go look at some of the ones that say it, some of the some of these pendants that I made, it will say like a catalog of 432 hertz. You'll see how I have the 432 hertz frequency generator with cables going to the copper cage, or copper Faraday tensor cage actually, and then the crystals inside that cage, and it's being imprinted with a catalog of 432 hertz frequencies. And I don't want to really mention names, but I know some that are in this field that are charging thousands of dollars for frequencies like that. So mine's nowhere near those prices, right? And I have actually huge put up one Lemurian quartz cluster specimen that's like 12.81 ounces that was charged at the red granite megalithic dolmen during Lionsgate of last year, winter solstice and summer solstice, all of these different days. Very special pieces that are one of a kind. You can't get anywhere else, and once they're gone, you can't find anything like that ever again. So yeah, some of my pendants are, these ones you can find are actually cheaper than some of my other stuff. And they're all handmade. And yeah, you can see the rainbow moonstone I like because it has that blue sheen on it. The other one on my website also has that blue sheen like that. Love the rainbow, love that. So you guys can see the title of the show. I'm actually going to be doing at 9 p.m. tonight a deeper. Hello. I don't know if I lost you. Hey, everybody in the chat room. Yeah, 9 p.m. tonight, I'm actually going to be doing a deeper show on this information, and I'm actually releasing some intel that I can't actually say on YouTube because the show will get demonetized, or it'll get taken down if I mention about that stuff tonight at 9 p.m. on my Patreon, patreon.com/themysticalspiral. And you guys can see what happened. Look it up in the news. On July 7th, hey Cindy, I just mentioned you actually. I'm so glad. Aqua Soul Star, I'm so glad you got the ruby kyanite. I'm glad it went to one of my friends, because that's awesome piece. And I'm making one of Ruby Matrix tonight as well. I have one piece that I'm making to remake. I have one of the Ruby of the Moonstone available as well right now. But you guys can see what happened on July 7th. On July 7th, our geomagnetic shield was shut down around the planet, or not our planet, this planet. And so we shouldn't say our. I don't know why we always say that. Like our world or our Earth, or it's not ours. This is on this planet, right? So on this planet, our geomagnetic shield was basically shut down for 14 hours on July 7th. And I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure astronomers didn't even realize up until this point that it could be shut down for that long. Now, it's interesting because I basically meditated on this idea and the fact that the sun, I've been talking about, it's feeling like the sun is actually taking our energy lately. Like the sun is like, it's flipped, like it's had of like a polar flip or something. Like no longer it's almost like it's going through a restabilization period or readjusting period, where right now it's like actually taking energy from the very life forces that it's been providing energy for. Because it really feels like that. It's almost like taking our energy in a way, sucking it out of us, the radiating force of the sun. And I don't know if that's just how it feels, or it's actually a thing, but on July 7th, a solar flare wind that had a embedded in it came into this planet, you know, and lowered our shield for 14 hours. Now, I told you in the past how I was shown that a coronal mass ejection is an ankh, right? You could see even in the thumbnail of this video, the way a coronal mass ejection happens and comes out of the sun is in the form of an ankh. It's a coronal loop, right? And the ankh is the key of life, or the breath of life. Well, it literally is like the key of life of the universe. It's the key of creation and destruction. The coronal mass ejections, you know, they sweep in all of the cometary and meteor shower bacterial codes and life codes, evolutionary codes that are all lurking around our stratosphere and our planet and this planet and all the planets. It sweeps them in. And I do feel on July 7th, when our geomagnetic shield was lowered, that there's a new cosmic seed that was brought here. It's going to be clothed in human skin. It's going to be in the form of a human. And it's going to rise, a new intelligence is going to rise. And you know, this year is very important. It's Hebrew, they call it one of those Shemitah years. And it's like Jubilee years in Christianity and Catholicism. I think it's a Jubilee year. It's one of the years where I think we're even going to have the 4 blood moons. We just had a blood moon the other night that looked like sky. I took pictures of it. It looked like a red digital sphere, red blob. I've never seen a moon go red before. Really nuts. And we're at the time of, I think, reseeding, where we're at the cusp of evolution, where our evolutionary chain can go. We're going to either spiritually evolve or go towards the materialism and greed. You know, and we're at that cusp of evolution. We're standing at that front line right now. And I've been talking about this. The copper and crystals is how you tap into source, right? Because we're being bombarded by all different angles, all different unseen intelligences and frequencies. And we're being desensitized by all these frequencies, right? So when you say they, I'm not meaning people, I mean the frequencies around us. You know, and we're stuck. We're not harmonically, and DNA can even be transferred through sound, through harmonics, genetic codes. So we're going to be getting into that tonight as well. Yeah, I would get those pendants that I'm making on my website. They're one of a kind. Those should go. You know, these are going to go quick. So if you like that kind of stuff, I would not hesitate, if you like it, to get it now, because all of them are one of a kind. So there'll be different ones in the future, but Each one is one of a kind, especially the big clusters, because I might not ever be able to get those kind of things in again. Because I don't just get them in from anywhere. I make sure I know the source where they were taken. They were, taken from where they were found in the earth. And that's a whole other thing. That there are certain spots where life should just be left alone and not in mind, and certain things should not be. But we need to spread some of the light, some of the energy, and that's the reason why I think right now is an important time to work with some of the crystals. Because I do believe some crystals, especially some of the big crystals, they should be left there. The huge crystals that have been on a certain coordinate for a long period of time. It has to do with the memory and the stabilization of our eternal friggin' cosmic memory of our planet. And yes, some crystals are good to help people connect to source and help connect to their cosmic ancestry. That's what they're for. They're to help not only harmonize your body to source, but your spirit and those around you as well. It helps with your bioenergetic field, so you could be a better person to others. The copper has magic. It's science behind it, but it's magic. And right now, I do feel that this is not a good time with the sun. I don't think we should be out in the sun for prolonged periods of time. I actually think, I have to look it up, but I think we've been recording history probably from 1600s or 700 something, right? I think it's some of the hottest in all those hundreds of years in many places right now. And I know here on the East Coast, it's a sapping heat energy. And 2022 is one of those years. Like, we had certain years where massive changes happened on the planet, right? The year 70 AD was when one of the temples, I think it was the second temple, was destroyed, right? That was one of those years. It seems to go in like 7-year cycles as well, right? So there was also, like, in 1492 was one of them, where things was a big change. This is when, like, the Jewish people were getting kicked out of Spain and those areas where that's how Columbus ended up supposedly now rediscovering the Americas, right? Because basically he was a Kabbalistic Italian. He was an Italian Jew, basically, for those that don't know. And I might have even faint connections in my ancestry, because one of my grandmother's maiden name was Colombo. This is Foro Colombo. He actually was an Italian Jew. He was practicing the Kabbalah, and he was basically had to leave Spain or he was going to get killed, and he had to go prove that he was a Christian and go get conversions to prove that he was a Christian and not a Jew. And this is where I actually think he followed some of the either Phoenicians or Templars roots to the Americas, where he rediscovered how many people got to the Americas? So many before the Phoenicians, even the Minoans, probably. I think the Minoans are actually related to Vedic culture. You ever see those Minoans doing like these acrobatic dances with dolphins in the ocean? It's very related to Vedic times as well. And I think the Minoans, the Phoenicians, the Norse, right? All those Scythian warriors and Tuatha De Danann and those from Celtic, I think, as well. The Druid ones, they all made it here before Norse, and as well as the Phoenicians and the Minoans and things. I think as well as probably others that we don't even know about. So I think it's possible that Columbus even followed, even the Templars. It's possible they made it here as well. And Columbus could have even had access to some of their routes. But this coronal mass ejections, this is the Ankh. I mean, it's so obvious. There's one author called Judy King, where I do feel that she's right. She mentions this as well. It's the only other person I found that about it. And I found certain things that I've come across my own way, and then I found her. But she doesn't mention anything about the comets and the meteors. It's sweet code. That's where I've come in, and my information is a little bit different. But she never or meteors or meteor showers or anything like that. And that's the biggest part of it for me. I mean, this is why you have Shiva that sits on top of the Himalayas. I don't know if you guys have heard me, if you've listened to my work before, you've heard me mention it, but the Himalayas are designed with technology specifically. This is why they say Shiva sits on top there, doing the even the Nataraja, that dance of destruction, creation, where he's literally crushing with his toe a demon, and he's doing the cosmic dance of creation, maintenance, and destruction on top of the demon, right? This is Himalayas are designed as it's literally like technology. I mean, it's designed a certain way where it's so high where it punches a hole in the stratosphere. So this hole will form like a conical drainage funnel route. So anything that's lurking in the stratosphere, it pulls like a funnel route. And this is only when we have times of minimum sunspot cycles. So when we're in a minimum sunspot cycle, those places that have breakthroughs in the stratosphere, places like in the Himalayas, where it punches a hole in the stratosphere right there, specifically, those places, anything, when we're in a minimum sunspot cycle, anything that's in the stratosphere lurking, and what I mean by anything, I mean bacterial codes, DNA codes, viral codes, all those life codes that are sent in our stratosphere from meteor showers, cometary dust, and all of the comets, they all are depositing all of this bacteria and all this cosmic alien DNA and bacteria and evolutionary codes, all of the codes of creation and life and virus and destruction and evolution, all of that, all lurk in our stratosphere, meteor showers. So when we're in the minimum sun cycle, anything that's in the stratosphere, in those places where there's breakthroughs, like in the Himalayas, that stuff will have an open invitation to come in. It's like an open in-house invitation for everything to come in, right? And the Himalayas are designed like that. So it pokes a hole in the stratosphere and it forms this drainage route. So it comes in. And when it comes in, the first places it sweeps through because of the wind and the way everything on this planet, the first places it goes is Hong Kong and China, right? So, I mean, it's pretty obvious. And this is why right on top of the Himalayas, it said that Shiva sits. And Shiva is the god of storm and also of fertility, right? And this is what meteor showers and comets and all of that bring. They can bring fertility and destruction, creation and annihilation, right? This is what they all bring. And this is why Shiva is doing the cosmic dance on top of there, right? We're literally, I mean, come on. I mean, it's pretty amazing information. And when you have usually the gods, they're in representation. Most people think when you think of a god, you think of a representation of a triad, right? Even like with the deities, you have the mother goddesses being like the maiden, the mother, the crone. But actually, what they really are tetrads. And this is why when you see a lot of the Hindu, Vedic, and Sanskrit symbology, you'll see, like, especially with Shiva, he'll have 4 arms or 4 legs. Two things, because with God you have usually you have the god and the goddess, the mother, the father, the king, the queen, and the son and the daughter, right? One aspect of the tetrad. And then another aspect of the tetrad is these 4 chakras of the goddess or god, where you have chastity on one end, you have promiscuity on another end, you have motherliness on another end, and then you have bloodthirstiness on another end. This is why they're also, like, you'll see Inanna as the pure virgin, but also as well. They're about bloodthirstiness and destruction and war, but also about love and fertility and motherliness and purity. So 4 tetrads. This is all cosmic bring as well. So that's a representation of cosmic celestial, forces. It's really insane. we're at this time. We're being reseated at the cusp of an evolutionary event right now. And it's a technology of the universe. We're at one of those evolutionary periods of our solar system. And the sun is sending out these codes, and our shield was lowered, and I believe something was brought here. And they even say how certain intelligences, they call angelic intelligences, or however you want to, they can be clothed in human flesh. They can walk around in human flesh. And I do feel what I'll get to more tonight on Patreon is that these megalithic sites, and wow, there's some thunder lurking in the background as I'm saying this. These megalithic sites and these stone pillars, and mirrors, a lot of them, I think, originally were set up to form this archaeoastronomy, symbiotic fluid, toroidal movement, sort of harmonic resonant frequency, symbiotic fluid oneness with a certain star or sun to put in pure in the middle of that stone tower, stone circle, to have her literally impregnated without sex at that spot through some sort of sound, vibration, harmonic frequency. She's later imprinted cosmic. Some of the sex magic has been derived from at certain spots as well. So it's literally like sex incantation with the cosmos, where a certain comet or cosmic DNA is literally calling it down, imprinting it with a sound frequency technology, a harmonic resonant frequency, and imprinting the woman with this freaking cosmic DNA that I see on the planet. My audio's breaking up. Wow. Well, there's like weird, a storm coming in the background. I hear it coming in. Wow, they're trying to keep me from talking because, listen, if I'm breaking up, it's because there's certain forces not made to work. They're going to have, it's going to be either a false alien invasion or a false nuclear type event that's going to be coming on us, like, or they're going to say it's some false alien some alien technology coming across where they need people to evacuate and all of this. This is what's going to be the agenda that's being brought out. This is not what's happening. So you're going to see this being brought out in the news. All this UFOs that's being brought out, this is all government craft that they've been working with. And a lot of the metal that they're using for the craft that they're back engineering has been taken from meteors and asteroids and mined. And this is stuff that they won't let out in the public. And this is stuff that I need to share with all of you. So it's going to be a false alien invasion type events. All these UFOology people, they're all talking about, they're all broadcasting a false narrative. Trust me. Trust me. All the UFO stuff that's in the media, this is false information. And they're gonna bring this false event on us. Like, we need to unite. We need to track everybody. We need to track everybody's everything because we need to figure out who's the real human. Because there's an alien force among us. And we need to have everybody tracked, and there needs to be a one world everything because we need to unite now. It's important more than ever. That's what's going to be the agenda that's coming out. And they might even say the air is sick around us. We have to leave our homes. And once they get us out of our homes, they'll never let us back. Trust me. It's intense. It's intense. Because there's a force amongst the cosmos. God, the universe. And this is the evolutionary chain is going to happen whether we like it or not. I feel that the governments and the powers of our world, the military powers of our worlds, have literally cut us off from spiritual evolution because of the greed and the forces on this planet and the technology we've chose to use for certain ways on our planet. The ultimate Vedic war, because of spiritual cosmic law being broken, where deep levels of awareness and spiritual awareness arose, high levels of spiritual technology arose, and sometimes it was brought on through deep levels of meditation, deep powers, or sometimes it's catapulted through using the Anunnaki bloodline starfire or the monatomic gold mana that they were getting from the cosmos. It wasn't gold from this earth. This isn't monatomic gold that you can buy on the internet. This is highly spun monatomic gold, and it was gold from not from here. And they were using their telepathic warfare, spiritual battle I'm talking about, psychic warfare originally. This is what it originally was. It's the same psychic warfare that has manipulated the materialism and greed on our planet to this very day. The Aryan War is still continued. Our whole world is being manipulated through spiritual and telepathic warfare. All around you. It's the reason why you want for certain things so bad. And you need to watch certain shows, and you need to do this. What do you think that's all from? You're enchanted. You're enchanted with materialism and everything in nature. Listen, everything in nature seeks to be stable, to be in a relaxed state. Yes, but it doesn't seek to have exorbitant amounts of copious amounts of certain things, right? It's just you stabilize to be just at peace, at one with your surroundings. That's what everything and every life force seeks. A stable state, right? Well, this is beyond a stable state. We are in a greed state where it's a corruption, right? And this is what we need to break that shell. And through working with copper and crystals, unfortunately, that's some of the way you can shatter those and put yourself in a little protective shell so you can have some meditation, you can have some oneness. Unfortunately, right now we're getting bombarded from so many freaking levels that there's so much chatter all around us that you can't have any one thought, you can't have any oneness and silence. It's ridiculous. Most people can't even wait online for 3 minutes. It's becoming unglued. It's ridiculous. Wow, this looks like a heart. Looks like an artery coming out. Look at the top. Looks like a heart on its side. Not that I'm saying it is, because I just think that's completely ridiculous saying that about all the stones, like what Roger was saying. Because he even was saying there's a lung, one thing. Well, I have little petrified woods that look exactly like that as well. What are you saying? They're little mini humans. So that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy what's happening right now on this planet. And I think this coronal mass ejection is an Ankh loop. It was sweeping in codes on July 7th. We're being reseeded. I had a friggin' weird event happen to me the other night. And you know what? Copper and a little bit of Benadryl helped me. I don't know if it was an allergic reaction or what happened, but I happened to be out in the sun that day a little bit. And the other night, all I had was a peach. And I've been eating peaches my whole life. I ate a peach, and then 5 minutes later, all of a sudden, my hands started burning. Like they were on fire. My hands were itchy and burning, like on fire. And this only happened to me once other time in my life. And it was like 6 or 7 months ago, but I didn't even eat a peach that time. I don't know what the hell happened last time, but my hands were on fire. And then I started getting hives all over. And it was just an uncomfortable, horrible feeling all over my body, like a fire and hives all over. I felt like my throat was starting to close a little bit. And I went and took a cold shower real quick. And I put copper like rings on me. And I took Benadryl. And then I just couldn't, like, at first, I couldn't get comfortable. Like, my skin was just all over from head to toe. Even my like freaking my like my dick was like hiding. Like it went like it was like trying to friggin' hide. It was weird. Like everything was just like recoiling. And then like everything was just blotchy all over me. My face was on fire and it was red mark. And then I was able to like I basically was naked, laying on the bed naked with a fan on me, but yet I was still cold and hot at the same time. Like it was like poison. I felt like I was poisoned. And then after an hour, I dozed off for a few minutes, and I woke up and it was subsiding. So it started to go away after an hour, but it was pretty brutal. I don't know if it was from the peach or what. Maybe the peach wasn't clean enough, and it had some kind of fucking something on it, or if it was the peach itself. But that was the only thing I ate before that. It was like five or so minutes before that it happened. Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, it's the sun. The sun is the quantum, beyond quantum computer of our universe. I think some sort of new form of life organism was brought here via the sun on July 7th, when our geomagnetic shield was lowered for 14 hours. It could have even came in meteoric form. It could have even came in meteoric form, something like that. Or it could have came in a vibrational radiation wave that you can't see, like a sound harmonic frequency that I believe is involved with the CME. They are the keys to life, the Ankh loops, and I do believe they're carrying even the radiating force of the sun. The love of the sun has an intelligence. It has codes within it. That's what the Aten is even all about. People always think the Aten means the solar disk. The Aten doesn't mean the solar disk. What they're actually was they were worshiping Amenhotep IV, which is Akhenaten, or it could be actually said Ku and Aten, which Ku or Ak means intelligence in Egypt. So what you're talking about when you're talking about the Aten, it's not the actual solar disk that was the form of worship. They were worshiping the light that was emanating off of that solar disk. The rays coming down, that's the actual object of worship, not the solar disk itself, but the emanating light that's coming off of the solar disk that we're receiving. That is the intelligence of the Aten, the Akhenaten, the intelligence of the Aten. So that's what his name means. He originally was Amenhotep IV, the son of Amenhotep III, but during like the 4th or 6th year of his reign, he changed his name to, which means like the intelligence of the Aten, the intelligence of the sun's rays. This is how to become a shining one, to become like the shining sun, right? They were ingesting certain things as well, like I've talked about. This is where the soma, the nectar, actually comes in as well. And I do feel this is on 7/7/2022. What does that come out to ultimately? 7/7/2022. I think that ultimately comes out to 3. Because what? You got 7/7. Oh no, I'm wrong. 7/7. 2/2/2 comes out to 4. 7/7 comes out to 14. So 4 and 1 is 5. 5. Oh, so that comes out to 9. Wow, does that come out to 9 altogether? That is intense. Nah, this isn't from the book of Urantia at all. Nothing I'm saying is from the book of Urantia. At all. I mean, some of it might be similar. I've read some of the book of Urantia. I have it. I've had it since the 90s, in fact. I got it in like 1992. When I was like in high school when I got that. And it's so interesting how I came across that book originally. This guy Ray, this guy Ray was a wacky guy too. He used to just walk the earth like Kane from Kung Fu. Like he used to just walk around for years. He would just walk different places, and he was the one who showed me this book. He was an older guy from my area, but I got that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I mean, from my research, I don't know if you guys know, but from my research, um, I've actually come across a certain conclusion that I found another couple has actually wrote a book about it at one time, but not many people know about the book. But I actually think Edgar Casey was the one who channeled the majority of the Urantia book. Now, I can't get into a whole reason why on here, but Edgar Casey was taking periodic trips to a certain psychiatrist in Chicago in his memoirs. He never said the specific psychiatrist, but that psychiatrist, I believe, was Dr. William Sadler, who is the publisher of the Urantia book. And Dr. Sadler never released who was the guy who channeled the Urantia book. All he said it was from a sleeping psychic, right? But he never said who. Now, Edgar Casey doesn't know what is said during his sessions unless somebody is telling him and recording him. And there to manipulate the flow of the session, you can get information from anywhere. Now, there were certain recordings in some of his memoirs of Edgar Casey where a certain being came up called Halil. It was an angelic being, but when it came up, Edgar Casey chose not to interface with it at the time, and he woke up out of his sleep. Now, if Dr. Sadler was there when this being came apart, this angelic being, then who knows what could have been manipulated through that session. Edgar Casey was known to stop doing his readings because people were trying to get things out of him at certain times, right? So I think it was Dr. William Sadler who manipulated Edgar Casey during their private psychiatric sessions that he was able to channel most of the Book of Urantia. And look, as soon as Edgar Casey died, only within a few years after that was the Book of Urantia published. He waited till the man died, you know? So there's a lot more to it, you know, where you can look in Edgar Casey's memoirs and actually see his travels where he made these periodic trips where Dr. Sadler was living. And, you know, they even had Edgar Casey's son comment about this as well, and he said there was interesting things about it, but he doesn't ultimately think it was Casey who channeled it. Of course, he's going to say that about his dad, but he did think it was very interesting, some of the coincidences and all that as well. So I'll be live tonight at 9 p.m. You know, very interesting stuff. Yep, very interesting stuff. Yeah, I might look young, but I'm 44 years old. I got some age to me, and I've been working on this information and working with spirituality and mystics and esoterics and everything from all sorts of different religions as well. You know, I've worked with Buddhists and Hindus, Catholics, Christians, Jews, you know, all sorts of people from all different religions, and I've built up a lot of knowledge over the years. And you know, it's unfortunately a lot of the religious practices keep people in a dogmatic sort of box, but some of it is good. But I don't just claim myself to one religion, but I do believe there is a figure similar to what they call Jesus that came, and that's a whole nother topic. I do believe that the universe is God. That is the universe. That's God. You know, the universe is the brain of God. However you want to look at it, I consider myself a man of God and a holy person. All of us should consider themselves one. But I've been, you know, I actually started at 4 years old, right at this very spot here, on these Catholic grounds where I'm right now. I started Catholic school called the Children of Mary, you know, and I was in Catholic studies from the time I went to public school after that. Like I did Catholic school. When I was 5 years old, I went to public school, like kindergarten, and I stayed in public school. From 4 years old to 13 years old, I still stayed in Catholic studies once a week. I would go to the CDC or whatever. When I was 13, I stopped that. But I started my studies that early, you know, and already from a young age, I was already studied because I also had a mystery school connection and things like that at the same time. So it was just a lot of information, and I toyed with a lot of stuff I shouldn't have toyed with at a very young age, So I learned a lot of lessons at a young age. I've been humbled in many ways in my life. So um, that's I think how people build character. It's not through making lots of money or doing all this. It's like how have you been humbled in your life? Because that's what really can bring apart your true character and your ego. So thank you guys for joining me. Guys, go to the mysticalspiralstore.com. Certain items up there, I mean, most of the items up there, once they're gone, they won't be back again. They're one of a kind. And I actually just restocked. I only have one available for the next couple of months. So if you want to get it now, one of each. One of my giant harmonizers, they're like really big ones. They're really big ones. And then one of the medium-sized ones that are double wrapped harmonizers. They're the double the strength. They're double wrapped harmonizers, and they both come with crystal balls and rainbow moonstone spheres with them. So you come with a set of crystals to go on top of the harmonizer. And I'll just restock the triskelion trinacrias. That's the little pendants. They're copper. They're not little. They're copper pendants that have the triple spirals in the middle. The triskelions. I just restocked those, so there's like 4 or 5 of those available now. So if you want those, they're back in stock, and they come with I think those come with labrador as well, and necklace material and everything else. And if you're in the United States, the shipping is free. So when you order from my website, and you're like whenever you order, you get if you're in the United States, you get the shipping free. If you're outside the US, it charges a flat rate shipping. So, like, it's better for you to order more because it'll be the same price whether you order more or less. But for the United States, it's free shipping, and no matter when you order, whether you're in the United States or not, you get a free item, a free gift with every order. So, and the bigger the order, the more you get for free. So I really hook it up. Yeah, the harmonizers, no, they're not plugged in. They're copper Taurus system harmonizers. So you can actually hook up a frequency generator to them. If you have cables connected to the frequency generator, hook the cables up to the harmonizer as well, and that harmonizer will cast that frequency as well. I have a double wrapped harmonizer right now that's up that comes with crystal balls on top. The crystal balls were charged at the summer solstice at a red granite megalithic dolmen called the Balanced Rock in North Salem, New York. So they're the most powerful crystal balls you could find. And it's a double wrapped harmonizer, double wrapped with the sacred royal cubit. So it's double as strong, really powerful. I only got one of those available. So I always hook people up. Even Cindy will tell you, I always hook people up with free stuff. And the better customer you are, the more frequent you come, the more stuff you get for free. I always hook people up. So it's about people. And I some of my stuff is really high-end crystal. I know people charge thousands and thousands of dollars for some kind of stuff that I'm imprinting it with some very powerful frequencies as well, 432 hertz, which is very positive for the body. Yeah, Teresa, I'll hook you up with some free stuff as well. So let me know. The ones that I have on my website are already made. So there's stuff that I just have all stocked right now, and there's stuff that if you want me to, if there's certain things that you'd like to make, and if I have the stock, I can make you certain pendants and stuff and certain items as well. But when you order, it gets shipped out the next day. Usually, maybe it take me 2 days to ship it. But usually when you order something, it's usually made. It's either already made, or it takes me a night to make it. So there's some things that, like, when you order, that I might have to like touch up, tweak, or something like that. But a lot of the items that you see up on my website, there's only one in stock. So when it's bought, it's out of stock because they're a certain crystal that at a certain weight. It's a specific kind of item. Right, there's certain items that I have that are just in stock. that they're like made a specific way, that they're like certain pendants, certain of the copper designs that I have like certain ones that are pretty much, each one's pretty much the same, but there's certain items that are one of a kind. There's unique ones. So yeah, I've never had a unhappy customer so far. I think there was one person in Poland out of all the 3 years, there was one person in Poland who, for some reason, it got returned to sender, and then I never got it. I don't know why they didn't send it. Was like at the place in Poland for some reason. I mean, that does, so I shouldn't even said that. Doesn't say if you're going right now and you want to order to deter you from ordering, but that was the only one, I think, that I can think of that somebody actually didn't get the stuff. But that's going to happen with mail every once in a while, I guess. But any other return to senders that ever happened, I always got back. Except I think it's like one or two that I never got back in my whole life. But that only, a lot of times people move and they don't tell you, or they don't put the apartment ad. That's why if you ever order from somewhere, make sure if you have an apartment number, you always include that apartment number. Because sometimes I get to the post office and they're like, "What's the apartment number?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got to go back and find out," because the person didn't write it. Make sure you always include, if you have an apartment number, to include that. Yeah, I actually have a small copper bracelet for smaller wrists. I have two of them up right now. The raw mu, the lost cubit. I have one up. That's the lost cubit. That'll fit a smaller wrist. And the raw mu as a really small wrist. It'd be like a small lady's wrist or a small child's wrist would be the raw mu, or like a bigger child could even fit it too. Like I can almost squeeze myself into it, but I'd be scared to try to get it off with the raw mu. But the raw mu bracelet that I have up there, and I actually have one bracelet that's an adjustable. That's pretty much any size wrist, but a child, that's up there right now. I only have one available because they take a long time to make, and I just got one made. I just restocked it, and it comes with a case and everything. A beautiful case that it comes in. It's a spiral. It has spirals all over, the copper spirals all over it. You'll see it's really amazing, really amazing. It's adjustable as well. It's the spiral out one. That's a royal cubit. I also have the law cubit, and they bracelets that are up there for small wrists. I also have water for big wrists. They can fit on your for bracelets with the water. They're for restructuring water and food and charging all sorts of items in there. I also have the bigger rings that can fit also around your smart meters, but they're also good for stomach aches, to fit around your belly if you have stomach aches. Or you could put, anywhere. They're just easy. Those are my favorite ones. Even you could fit them around your head. A lot of people. I could fit it around the crown of my head, but my wife fits it right over her head. She could. But yeah, there's so many different items on there. I have crystal skulls as well, crystals, and really crystals. They're all like pretty much AAA grade crystals. Even the shungite that I have is all. I have Elite Noble AAA grade shungite, and the raw tumbled shungite is high grade shungite. I even have the chalk kind of shungite. I've all got all different levels of high grade shungite as well. Well, when the arm turns green, well, if it's copper, it's just because the copper got dirty. If you're wearing some kind of metal or silver, sometimes it could be like fake silver that can do that as well. But sometimes when silver gets dirty, it could do that too to your skin. But if it's happening from copper, it's because the copper got dirty. You could clean copper. It's pretty easy to clean copper, but you want to get something that's really soft, that you can do these little spiral clockwise scrubbing motion, and you get like a bowl of. You can use like a blend of tomato sauce and water, but that's a little messy. I don't like using that too much, but that works pretty good. But I like to get a bowl of white vinegar, and then you put some kosher salt in the white vinegar and let the kosher salt dissolve. Let it sit in there until it dissolves. Let it sit a while until the salt dissolves in the white vinegar. And then you use that solution to clean the copper. And you can get it pretty clean, pretty quick. You know, and you use that little clockwise spiral, wax on, wax off. Wax on that shit. Instead of waxing off, you wax on. Clean it by waxing on. Danielson. Yes, Danielson, you can make copper brand new again. Hello, my friend. I just called you today to tell you you're a cocksucker. And I love you, bye. You know? Hey, my friend, I call you today to tell you you are a cocksucker. Yes, cocksucker. I love you. Okay, bye. I hope everybody's having a good day. Yeah. You know what? I actually did a really good interview like a year or so ago that not many people have heard. I have it right here on YouTube with the Sun Yogi, Uma Sankar, this guy from India. That is the Sun Yogi. He's really good, actually. And if you listen to the interview, put on the captions where it tells you, because he's got a heavy accent. Real heavy accent. I'm like walking the shade line this whole time in the video. So if you guys are getting dizzy from me walking back and forth, I'm not. I'm trying to stay out of the sun, walking the shade line. Look at this. Look at this old rock wall. You see how old this rock wall? Some of these rocks are huge in this rock wall. It's a rock that goes all through these woods. See? It has at the end of it too in the woods. It's in thorns right now. There's a serpent snake effigy at the end of it. It's a snake face. It's a big long snake rock wall. It goes right into, and some of these boulders are huge in it. I even have one that goes right through the backyard of my mother-in-law's house and in my dad's house. These rock walls all through the area here. Yeah, it's crazy. Some of them are like bisected walls. They go east, west, north, south, and shit. Lemon and sea salt probably will work too. Yeah. Yeah. Even like I said, even like tomato sauce and water mixture will work. That'll work good too. There's a few things that'll work, but like white vinegar and kosher salt, that works really good. But just don't use like wool that. It was scratched up. I said it. I think I said it by accident one time to use something off the. Somebody said steel wool, and I might have agreed with them, and I don't think I realized what I was. I didn't mean to say that. Somebody told me, "Did you tell me to use this?" I was like, "No, I never told you that." But if I say that by accident, I just wasn't reading right. And it's not something you don't want to put something sharp on there to scrub it. You want to use something really soft. All right, everybody. So yeah, I hope everybody stays nice and cool in this friggin' oven that's out there today. And I'm gonna try to be live at 9 p.m. tonight, depending on what's going on. So I will give updates on my patreon.com/themysticalspiral. That's where you go. If you want my inside remote viewings as well, all my articles is there. Hope you guys enjoyed today, and Spiral out. The Mystical Spiral store. Actually, you get 5% off, and I will hook people up with some free items today for listening and staying here. I will bless you guys with some amazing stuff. So you might even get a crystal ball. Spiral out.